Hey, what's good, guys? I'm Ragujan. So here we are on the question set 34. So in this case, we have already created the relationship database and its structure, the tables and all this cool stuff. Now we have to enter data. So you guys can see we had to enter. The first question is we had to enter these three rows for the user type table. We had to enter these five rows for the city table. For the gender table, we have to enter these two gender names, and in the user table, you guys can see there are a bunch of stuffs. Also for the address, also, and the sixth one is system login, and you have to enter two rows. So that's how it goes. So let's dig in. So I'm going to start with the user tab. So we can write queries. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to say insert into RLE issue center. Any suggestions, because I guess I typed wrong. Yeah, okay. So RLE issue centers user type is the table that I'm selecting and insert into our user, and now we have to mention the columns. So how many columns in this case? Two. However, the user type ID is auto increment, so we don't have to worry about entering data to the user type ID. So we only have to consider the user type name. So let's get that. We can say user type dot user type name is what we are selecting, and now we have to give the values. So the first one is what's the first one? Employee. So it is employee, and with this semicolon can run, and let's see what we have done. Okay, cool, we have successfully entered one row. So I'm gonna do this for the next two rows. So in this case, the next one is customer and the third one is supply. So I'm gonna say customer, and also I'm gonna copy this one, and I hope this works. Let's see. And the next one is supply. So okay, okay, we have entered data. Okay, cool. So we have finished the first one. Now we can move on to the second question. Here it is the city name. So let's write again from scratch. So insert into RLA issue centers city table. So where is the city table? Here we go. And now we have to mention the city tables, which column we are entering. Also the city ID is auto increment, so we don't have to worry about the city ID. Let's take a look. Let's take it again so we won't have any problems. So yeah, auto increment, and now we have to enter the values. So the first one, the first row, Colombo. So that's what I'm gonna do now is enter Colombo. It is into the insert into Colombia, show centers, city, and that is city dot city name, and values. The second one, let's see what's the second one. It is candy, and I want just copy and paste. So we have 5 rows. For the fourth one, it is so the third one it is Colombo, I guess, not Screwdragon. Let's change the third one. Screwdragon. And oh, and the fourth one it is Martele. So let's go Martele. And the fifth one, what is the fifth one? It is Kappa. Okay, cool. So I guess now we had to execute this query, and if we okay, we already the data entry thing has been successfully executed. Now we can move on to the third question here. So here you guys can see there are two gender names, so let's enter the gender values. So I would say insert into relation centers gender, and after that we have to mention the columns. So in this case, let's go to the gender table and let's take a look what's inside the gender table. So gender ID and gender name. Here you guys can see the default value is auto increment for the gender ID, so it will eventually add values. And so I would mention only the gender name. So gender tables, gender name, let's make it blue. And after that we have to say the values. We have to add the values. So value the first one it is male, and the next one female. So insert into our relation centers gender table, and gender tables gender name is what we are going to use access, and after that we have to execute the value female. Okay, let's execute this query, and I hope we have okay we successfully entered the data to the gender table. Okay, here goes the fourth one. Seems a little bit lousy, however we can figure it out. So there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Let's go to the user table anyways. So here, oh yes, what did I do? Okay, it crashed. Okay, I had to restart reopen the HeySQL. So here you guys can see we are on the user table, and you guys can see the user ID default value is auto increment. So let's enter data straight in insert into our relation center dot user, and now we have to give the values use dot first name is dot last name, and is dot contact number, and is dot what is this user call, what is that, I don't even know. User call, what that does even means. I don't know. Let's go to the next one. Status. I think it is it shouldn't be exist in the first place. So user call and the user status. Next one, user dot ID, and user dot give me the solutions. User dot gender ID. So that's how it goes. Now we have to enter values. So how many rows we have? So I'm going to delete this one. This is pretty useless. And 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So what we have done here, I guess, yeah, it has to be I guess it has to be address ID. So I had to do some little bit of tweaks. So I had changed the relationship. So let's go back to this tab. So here you guys can see I have the address ID. So we have also, I had to delete the user code. However, let's delete the user code. So because that's pretty useless. What is the user code? So we have now 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So I have 8 columns. Okay, cool. So we can enter data. So but before entering data, we have to add data to the address table, because that's how we can fill out these address ID column in the user table. So if it done, we can do something like this. We can do a default value as 1 or 0, or we can go with address table first. So let's go to the address table. It's more easier. We won't get any okay, so let's start with the address table. So I'm going to say insert into earlier show centers address table, and now we have to mention the columns. So address tables columns. Next we have address number and address street 1 and address street 2. Okay, I guess this. Okay. And address tables city ID. So we already have the city ID, so we can fill out these rows. And now we have to give the values. So the values, let's take a look at our question again, so we can get values. So the first one, the number. So let's get the number. And the next one, street 1, and the street 2 is Bulbul, and the city ID is, so address street 1, street 2, city ID. Let's take a look again. Number in a address street 1 Bulbul, and let's execute this query. Hope I successfully did it. Oh yeah, okay. I executed this query successfully. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy these codes, or you can type again and again. That is the earlier dot address into values. So we have 4 more to go because we already added one row. We have to go another 4. So let's go. Okay, so now we can add data. So second row, the number is unable to edit, have locked down. Okay, I have entered the data for the second row. So I'm going to go for the third one, 34. Okay, we have successfully added data to the address table, so we can move on to the user table. So let's go again to the user table and let's delete these queries. These aren't useful anymore. Yeah, now we have to mention the address also, user dot address id. So how many rows we have? We have to enter 7. We have to enter 7. 5 rows. We have to enter 5 columns. Yeah. So 7 columns. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, cool. And let's enter the first one. So the first one, and his name is it seems like Tilan. Tilan Tendukon. So first name Tilan, second name Tendukon, first name, last name, contact number. Okay, and you can delete this user call. It is we have deleted. We deleted this column. So user status is next one, and the user tab ID has to be 2, and the address ID is going to be uh, 1. However, we had to change it. We have this, now we are on the gender ID because you guys can see the order here: gender ID and then the address ID. So here we have to mention the gender ID first. So I'm going to say the gender ID is going to be 1 and the address ID is going to be 1, and hopefully it works. Let's refresh, and yeah, we have successfully entered the data. So I'm going to change the order so we won't get confused in the later in the long run. User address ID, user gender ID. Okay, cool. See you. I'm going to forward a little bit, so I'll continue this video after I entered all these data. So yeah, okay, so I have entered these 6 rows. Hopefully I have entered these 6 rows correctly. Let's execute this query, and let's refresh. Okay, cool, right, we have successfully entered these data. So let's take a look again. Status is completely filled with 1 1 2 2 3 3 1 2. The use type in this case it has to be 1, so let's change it to 1 1 2 2 1 2 2 3 3 3 3 1 2. Okay, it's nice. And now the address ID 1 2 3 4. Let's go the address ID 1 2 3 4. Okay, and after that 352. Okay, cool. And the next one, the gender ID 1121 1121. Okay, and 1121 and 221. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have entered this data. uh, Now you can move on to the question 6, the sixth one, the system login table. So let's go to the system login table, and we can create this query. So let's insert data to the system login. So insert into RLUS should centers system login, and now we have to mention the columns: system logins, what else we have? So yeah, we have username and system logins. What else we have? Password. Also we have system logins user ID. And now we have to give the values. The values is going to be 1 2 3 4, I guess. 1 2 3. We have to enter 3 rows. We have to enter 3 columns. Okay, so let's take this one. And how many rows in this table? There are 2, so let's enter another. Let's try this query again. Set into earlier show center system login. Now we have to mention the column system logins, username, system logins, insert and system values user ID, and now we have to say the values, we have to get the values. Okay, so now we can copy and paste the values. So the first one, username is Thilan, and the password is this one, and the user ID is going to be 1, and this person's user ID is going to be 6, and this person's username is Amanda, and the password is Amanda, and these characters. Okay, let's execute this query. Hopefully, yeah, we have entered data into the user's system login. Okay, I guess it's pretty much for the question set 34, and I'll see you in the next video, the question set 35. Thank you for watching.